Hello, everyone. Namaste. So, I wanted to share something with you about the story I never told: loss, pain, and survival from molestation. I never realized that there were so many people who survived this. I thought everyone around me had perfect lives and no one suffered someone that they cared about trying to take advantage of them when they're in their most vulnerable state. So for years, I carried pain very quietly in my heart. I lost a lot of people I cared about. I experienced moments that changed my life forever. There were things I didn't dare talk about because people would get hurt and people would be embarrassed and people would lose their material goods and people would lose their perfect polished images. I kept inside all of the pain because sometimes the pain was just too much to bear and there wasn't a real safe way to put it into words that could protect everybody's egos and protect everyone's personalities. But I learned that stories matter and they help people if you're willing to share. Sometimes sharing the truth about what you survived can help someone else feel very, very much less alone. I was grieving. I felt very alone. I didn't know how to move forward safely. I kept going, even when nobody knew I was carrying horrible pain, and even when nobody cared. So here's why I'm finally speaking out so that you don't have to suffer like I did. Let me share with you what happened when my grandfather, who was an alcoholic, molested everyone that I ever saw he could get his hands on. When I was little, I grew up in a very big family, loving family, had a hard working father and a mother who did everything she could to care for her husband and her children. And I'm going to share with you that my grandfather consumed alcohol every single time I saw him. My entire life, I'd never seen my grandfather sober. Not even once. Not even once. So he lived to almost 90. And so now I'm pushing 60. So that meant my entire life he had been drinking. When I was little, he would come around drunk, inebriated, however you wanted to define it, consumed with alcohol. He would touch people inappropriately. He'd pull out guns and threaten people all the time. The police couldn't really do much because they would say, well, did he really shoot someone? Well, if he didn't shoot someone, he's got a right to defend his property. He's got a right to bear arms. The problem was he'd brandish those weapons around children who were very frightened of him. He'd brandish those weapons around his loving wife, who never raised a hand to him, never raised her voice to him. She was too frightened to. He brandished weapons around my 90-year-old Indian grandmother, who was helpless and elderly and had no way to defend herself against a person who was consumed with alcohol, waving a gun around, making threats, and deciding he was going to molest whoever he chose, whoever couldn't fight back. In my childhood, I remember him showing up to a family gathering, demanding that children sit on his lap, and the adults did nothing about it. And if you fought him and said no, you didn't want to sit on his lap, well, you were seen as the difficult child. Don't you want to give grandpa a hug? Don't you want to show him that you love him? In order to show someone you love them, you don't have to sit on their lap. And you don't have to allow that they touch you in any way that makes you uncomfortable. But we grew up in a family that didn't always understand that. That same grandfather, as I got into elementary school, had access to an unlimited amount of children, even though he's gone. He's long gone now. And even though many times the police tried to intervene, There was very little that they could do. Many people weren't willing to speak out. Many people wanted to say they just wanted to get on with their lives. Many people said what he did really wasn't so bad. Besides, he was drunk. He didn't mean it. In order to speak your truth, if you've ever been touched inappropriately, if you've ever been molested, if you've ever been attacked, if you've ever been raped, you have to know deep down in your heart that it wasn't your fault. You have to know deep down in your heart that the person that did this had anger and evilness in themselves, and they expressed it in a damaging way that now you have to heal from. But healing is something you have to choose. If you don't choose to heal, the pain of what you've gone through will consume you, consume your future, harm you, harm your personal life, your relationships, and soon it'll impact your health. I speak from experience. Unfortunately, it impacted my health in ways that made me terribly sad and depressed for many, many years. It's time to speak my truth. It's time for me to speak up for people who can't speak up for themselves. My grandmother had many, many, many children for my grandfather. And in those days, in the 1940s and 50s, a woman wasn't able to go out and go to college and get a job and start a business as easily as one could today. So she felt that she had to tolerate the situation to keep the family together. Also, to my grandmother, speaking out meant breaking up the family because that would have meant taking the grandfather away from the home. He was the breadwinner. He was the person that made the decisions. He was the master carpenter, the repairman. He was the everything. So my grandmother felt trapped, and I could see in her eyes the sadness of her having to take care of her elderly mother, as well as take care of an alcoholic husband, take care of grandchildren, children, and never reach to take care of herself. It's time to speak my truth. It's time. It's time to heal from the pain of someone reaching out that you cared about and touching you as a child in a very inappropriate way and telling you that forced hugs were just part of caring for someone, forcing to be able to being touched when you don't want to. Your body belongs to you. You can say, no, I don't want to hug you. No, I don't want to be touched. No, I don't want you to put your hands on me. But most kids, most underage people, most people that suffer from a disability, most people that are elderly, most people that are weak in some way and defenseless don't have the ability to do that. So they suffer in silence through being inappropriately touched or molested. I'm speaking my truth today. If this happened to you, you have options. You can seek help. You can seek counseling. In many states, you can dial 988 if you're feeling like your life isn't worth it and you can't get past these negative thoughts. You can call 911 and ask for help. You can call 988 in many places and ask for help. You can call your local doctor. You can call your local hospital and say, tell them that you're having a difficult time getting past something that happened to you in your past and you just need help. Call your local police station. Call the fire department. Many of them can patch you to places where you can get immediate help or tell you what you can do. But don't suffer this alone. Speak your truth. Namaste, everyone.